Hi friends, how are you today? I hope everyone is doing well, and by the time this video gets to you, I hope it's not getting too crazy for the season. It's a little chilly in my craft room today, so I've got the heater on in the background. I hope it's not too noisy. This first card is going to be the Poinsettia paper and holiday cheer card. And in your packet, you will have a card base that I have already scored for you because we're going to make it into a gift card holder. So I wanted to help you out there with those score lines. Two different pieces of designer series paper. You've got two die cut different leaf pieces. You've got a very vanilla piece for your sentiment, whatever that might be. I actually went ahead and stamped these for you using a non-Stampin' Up! Image. And if you have something at home that you like better, just flip it on over and use the other side. That's the beauty of paper, it has two sides. You also have a piece of the garden green cardstock cut with the same image. And then you have two little gold gems just to finish off the card. So before we get started, just a couple things on product. The two different die pieces, they actually come from two different sets. The first set, I used this piece just because I think it's a really pretty thin, kind of more delicate image, and I like to die cut foil paper, foil cardstock with this one. This comes from the Poppy Moments die set, and that's on page 178 of the annual catalog. And the other piece we've used this in the previous Christmas card class from the Beautiful Boughs set, and this is one of the smaller ones. We used this large one in the other Christmas card class, but we're using this one, and that die set is on page 180 of the annual catalog. So those are those two dies. And then the designer series paper, the poinsettia paper, comes from the holiday catalog that is good till the end of December. And it's on page 15 of that catalog, and it's the Poinsettia Place Designer Series paper. Very pretty. Again, we've used some of these papers in the other Christmas card class. So that's some of the product. I want to talk to you about this piece. This is a punch that actually I just realized has retired, but I wanted to share with you, if you have other punches with shapes like this, the Stampin' Up! Has all sorts of different label type punches, or even a die that has these kind of label or nice sentiment images, but they only have one size, right? So like, for example, in a punch, you just have the one size of the image. And in some of the dies, you also only have one size. Sometimes you have the layering sizes, but a lot of times you might just have this one. Here's a tip for you. So to get some dimension and additional color to your card, you can die cut cardstock with the same shape, and then you can cut it in half. And don't worry, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because the part that, where you're cutting in the middle is not going to show. And you can do this either way. You can cut it lengthwise through the middle, or this direction through the middle. It just depends on where you want your extra dimension or color to show. So in this case, I want it at the top. And so this is what I'm going to do. I just cut that in half, and then I'm going to just layer one piece here and then the other piece down here. And as you would expect, they don't join in the middle, because if they did, you wouldn't see any of it. You could also just kind of layer the whole image off to the side, and then you just see it in one corner. Or if you cut it down the center this way, you would end up seeing a piece off here and a piece off this end. So it's just a way to get some extra mileage out of your products. So let's get started. First of all, let's go ahead and get a nice crease on those score lines that I made for you. And your cards should pretty much join in the middle, join together, not in the middle, but join together. And then we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive. We're going to get our designer series paper down first. I should probably put my glasses on too. I've been noticing that my eyesight is really getting a lot worse. I don't know if it's because I spend so much time on that little phone of mine. Okay, and then we're going to put, and these have back sides to them, but we're going to go with the pretty poinsettia paper on the outside of the card. So get your adhesive on this piece and place it down. And just line it up as best you can all the way around for your border. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make our pocket for our gift card. Now it's up to you if you want to have a little notch. I do like a little notch when I'm making a gift card holder. And because this one's going to show at the front, because it's not really overlapping except for the sentiment piece, which I'll show you in a minute, I'm really not doing a very big notch at all. So any circle punch will help. If you don't have a circle punch, you can always achieve the same look by taking something like some kind of roll of washi tape or other kind of tape or something like that, just drawing a line and cutting on it. So you can still get that look if you don't have a circle punch. So now I have just a nice little notch, and I'm going to close up this gift card holder. And I do like to use a pretty strong tape when I'm doing these pockets, because they tend to get a little bit more wear if someone's putting a gift card in and out a few times. So I like to make sure I've got a good tape, and this is the Stampin' Up's Tear tape, which is really strong, and you can see that you just have to use your thumbnail or something to get the tape to just tear. You don't have to go in with scissors. And then just close that up. And now you have a nice little pocket that you could put, you could fold, a $10 or $20 bill and tuck it in there. You could put a gift card in there. You could also use this if you don't give gift cards or you're not planning to. You could also use this to tuck a family photo in. How sweet would that be? I think I'm going to try and get some family photos sent back to my family back east, since we haven't seen them for quite a while now. And this would be a great way to just kind of tuck a photo in there. Or you could also just tuck your note in there. So maybe you're not going to write on here. If you do want to write on here, you'll probably need, some computer paper or something, a lightweight paper on here, because the green is pretty dark. But you could also just cut a little piece of cardstock and tuck it in there with your note. So that's the base of the gift card holder. And now what we're going to do is put the last pieces together. So let's go ahead and glue this down. So what I do is I'm going to just put some adhesive just along the bottom and along the top of the sentiment piece. And again, I stamped this image from a different company just so you had a word image, and I did it in the garden green ink so it would match perfectly with all these pieces. That's the one thing I love so much about Stampin' Up! Is the color coordination. I love that I can get an ink that matches perfectly with the cardstock, and also their all their designer series papers also list what color cardstocks coordinate, so it just really makes it almost foolproof, I guess. So there, see how I did that? And now you have a really neat piece from just one image, one product. So I had one punch and I was able to make this nice dimensional piece. I'm also going to go ahead and put these little gems on. They have adhesive on the back, so you'll want to just be careful how you pull them off. And I always like when I've got an image like this that kind of looks like a, well, it's a label, which is what it's called. I just like to have these at these two ends. So there's those. Just a nice little extra touch. And then what I'm going to do is this is going to kind of go over the two pieces, and these I'm going to put somewhere up in here. I think I like how that looks. I don't want it to stick off the edge too much. It's okay to go down this way. And I think this gold foil piece can kind of mask that sort of, this die sort of has kind of a short short stem on it, but I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Something like that. So again, I want to make sure this is kind of in the edge of the card, because otherwise it'll cause problems in the envelope, going into the envelope. So I'm going to use some glue dots to hold these pieces down. I'll start with one here where I think the bow is going to go. See, I'm just keeping it inside the edges, but up enough that I'm going to get to see a lot of it. And now I'm going to use another glue dot to hold the gold foil piece down. So I want to cover up this little short edge, but I don't want my gold to go too far over the top of the card. So I'm going to go right there. And then my sentiment piece, I think I'm going to pretty much center it. And I think I'll put some dimensionals behind the image. And remember, you only want it to be on the top part. You don't want to close your card by putting any on the bottom. So just along the top of this one, see how that back looks? Because I split that garden green piece. Peel my backings off there. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We were really lucky to have, if you recall, our oldest daughter Danielle's been home with us since August, and then Chantel came home from, she's up at Western, and she came home for the holiday and was here for almost 2 weeks, so it was really nice. There you go. I think that's a super pretty card and very simple. And if you didn't want to make, you know, the gift card component, if you didn't want to do this, you could have just used the regular 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock folded right in half, and you could still put these two panels on like that. And then do the same decoration. Very quick and easy. So if you have a lot of Christmas cards to do, this could be a really quick one. You know, 2 quick dies, a couple punches, and stamp an image, and you're good to go. So I hope you enjoy that one. I think it's super pretty. It's simple, but it's also elegant and very functional. Thank you.